Hi, I'm Claire Dyer, and welcome to Dyer Consequences, right here on Unprecedented TV, the place for free speech, uncensored and unfiltered, where we will talk about the issues they don't want to talk about. You can find us on YouTube and X, so if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode. I'm sitting down to talk about something that's very real. It's my own experience with harassment, threats, bullying, and online trolling, and not just how it's affecting me, but what it says about the world we're actually living in. Because right now, we're in a society that's becoming increasingly comfortable, even complicit with online abuse. People are harassed, doxxed, threatened and stalked online daily, and it's often brushed off as it's just part of the internet. Yet in the same breath, you can be investigated or even arrested for a tweet, depending on who you are, what you say, or who you give offence to. So we're forced to ask, where's the line? Who gets protected and who gets punished? This isn't about playing the victim, it's about holding up a mirror. So today's show is going to be a little different. Normally, I'm the one asking the questions, but today I'll be the one answering them. So I've invited Marilyn Hawes, Chief Executive Officer of Freedom from Abuse, to step in and interview me. So on that note, thank you for being here and welcome to Dyer Consequences, Marilyn. Thank you for doing this.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. And Claire, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, this online world is horrendous. And actually, if you go back in time, we have Mark Zuckerberg to thank for this when he invented Facebook, which even today has got no security on it whatsoever. And you're talking about a world of abusers. My background is my children were sexually abused. My 3 boys, I've got 4 kids, and they were abused by the head teacher. And I was the deputy head. I had no idea. I didn't even know what grooming was until the police turned up one day and said, we think your children are being abused by this guy. I went, pardon, what? He'd been my best friend. He helped me get out of my 19-year domestic abuse marriage. And then he goes to court, fast forward to where he says he's guilty. And he walks away with a £200 fine. Wow. And a suspended sentence. And I thought, I don't think so. So I then was told by everybody, you can't do anything. I thought, watch me, just watch me. And I was worried. I mean, you're probably younger than me. I remember Myra Hindley, and I thought, are people going to think I'm a procurer? Because there were lots of boys that he abused. Anyway, I took it to the High Court of Appeal without any lawyers, and I won. And Harriet Harman was sat next to me in the High Courts of Appeal and High Courts of Justice. And she said, oh, you better put some lipstick on. I said, why? She said, the whole of the world's press are outside because you're the only woman that's ever gone to the High Court of Appeal without a lawyer and won. I was absolutely gobsmacked. And from there on in, I've been a media whore. But, I am passionate about not anyone in their life suffering from abuse. So I've been into prisons. I talk to people who are the perpetrators. People think I'm nuts, but to me, that's how you understand the problem. What creates an abuser? What is it that we miss? So as a deputy head, I look back at my life working with children when we didn't know any of this stuff. No one talked about it. And I think, good God, how many kids have I failed? Because I've seen so many, and it's all about those very, very early year behaviors. And these people that are now doing this to you and they're just, it's obscene. It's just vile. And the police are so inept. I think some of them are a bunch of numpties who, wherever you go, you are the second person I've spoken to today with another lady earlier today. It's dreadful what she's going through. She's being really infiltrated by gangs and terrorists. No one's listening to her. And because the moment you step on anyone who's a boy in blue, they look after themselves. So the police will close down on you. And that's what I've experienced over 23 years of people time and time again. And it's atrocious, absolutely atrocious. So I think it's great to be on this show because I want to hear where have you gone with this story? I mean, look
Well,
at him. This is a cowardice. He had to hide his face.
well, this is kind of how it started for me, because to be honest, I never really used social media that much.
I don't either.
I was what was called probably more of a silent stalker. I only had Facebook, and I would go on Facebook, and I'd very rarely ever post anything. But it kind of started 5-6 years ago for me, when obviously I saw what was going on in this world, and I felt that I had to speak out about it. And the only way that I could do that was through my social media, so mainly Facebook. Um, and I managed to get through almost 5 years with probably next to no trolling. I mean, you'd get the odd comment on your Facebook, the odd insult, but I wouldn't really get anything in my inbox or anything like that. So the picture that we've just seen, that's kind of when it started for me, the actual real threats and harassment. And this was with ULEZ Security. And this guy, they all kind of dress like this, wore balaclavas. You can see he's got a body cam on. He's supposed to be wearing an SIA badge, which means he's the Security Industry Association.
Yeah.
So like your average close protection officer, door bouncer, the security you see in shopping centres. But these guys weren't. They didn't have a uniform. They were wearing balaclavas. So obviously a lot of people, well, some people don't know, ULEZ is the ultra low emission zone that obviously came into Greater London. That was introduced, well, it wasn't obviously Sadiq Khan, the Mayor of London's initiative, but he was the one that obviously implemented it. And from the moment it went live, we would get camera vans come round. So people like myself around the Greater London would just use boards just to block the cameras so people wouldn't get fined. But they were accompanied by 2 ULEZ security, as we called them. Over the course of time, people have been threatened. People have been assaulted quite physically, quite badly. I managed to escape it for some time. And then all of a sudden, I started getting a lot of messages, a lot of threatening messages. And I did work out which ULEZ security it is. And we do have a picture of him. We do have a few. And I think if the studio can pull up some, no, it's not him. This is the guy. So we worked out over a course of time that it was this guy who was messaging me, and I had met him on the ULEZ fans, and I had actually, honest to God, was always polite to him. So it was quite shocking as to why he was sending me threats to set fire to my car. They were going to come down with a jerry can and basically petrol bomb my car, so they knew what car I had. They threatened to rape me. They sent me videos of what he was going to do to me. My kids, he set up a fake profile. He managed to get a picture of my youngest son, who was 7 at the time, and put it up on Facebook. And it went on for months and months. And I would say I was quite lucky in the fact that I have a relatively good relationship with my MP. He is a Conservative MP. We will come back to this in a minute, because this is currently what's going on now. So my MP contacted our inspector and got the police to come round straight away. This is where the downside is of why people can get away with harassment, abuse, trolling, and threatening behavior on social media, because the police have said to me that Facebook will not cooperate with the police. There's a whole range of criteria and policies and things that have to happen before Facebook will give up IP addresses to certain accounts. And I think people know this, so they know that they're safe behind a screen. So this was my first, what's an IP address? I don't know. The studio's asking me.
Can I just interject here a minute?
Yeah.
The thing is about any of these apps, any social media, when you go on it and you click terms and conditions, it actually says we now hold your data, we own your data, we can use your data, we can sell your data, and they do. And that is the small print in all social media, whatever the app is, whatever it is, TikTok, whatever. And when I go into schools and I train kids about this, they have no idea. That's why I don't do social media, because I don't want, and that's the trouble. Facebook is like an open book for anyone that wants to try. I mean, I've been stalked 3 times physically, not on, I've had idiots online, but I just don't. I mean, have you? I don't want to know where you've gone to with this. Have you gone to the abuse site, online abuse people? I assume you have.
Well, this is to say, this was the first time I'd experienced it, and that was last year, and it did stop. And obviously, because these people, the ULEZ security, they were protected because essentially they were TfL representatives. So you kind of think there was nothing was ever going to come of it, because, they were representatives of TfL. So their security company was contracted to TfL. And obviously TfL goes back to the Mayor of London. And the Mayor of London...
don't start me on him.
Yeah. So the Mayor of London owns the Met Police.
Oh my God, what a slime ball. Honestly, truly. I mean, honest to God, he talk about unfit for purpose. But what is he wanting out of you? What is it? Is he want money out of you? Is he blackmailing you? What is it they want?
I think I'm probably do you know what? I think I'm probably a massive pain in their side, just for the sheer fact of what I do. It's probably costing them millions. But I think these guys, they just did it because that was the type of people that were employed. They were just not professional.
No, they're rednecks. They're rednecks. They're just bully boys. And I mean, I love to take out a bully. I really do. But I don't. But what? Yeah. I don't understand stalking at all. I mean, I have suffered it 3 times, and it is. I don't think people realise. They go, "Oh, I understand." No, you don't. Yeah. You don't understand unless you've been there, and until you've been there, it is so intimidating. It's absolutely hideous, and you're looking over your shoulder the whole time. You don't know where they're going to turn up. It's frightening. And I don't think I know the police do not understand. You call it harassment. I would call it stalking.
Yeah. Well, they knew roughly where I lived. They knew.
Well, that's stalking. That's stalking. I mean, harassment is like, oh, go away, please, sort of thing. But you are being absolutely intimidated. And that is stalking. So the Mayor of London is useless. We know that. Have you been to any stalking organisation for help?
No. Well, the thing is, this is the thing. So when I found out who it was, I went to the police because they never came back to me. And I said, look, I know who it is. They didn't even go round to his house. They said, well, why would we? Because he doesn't have a criminal record. And that was the end of it. Well, luckily it stopped. He no longer was working for or contracted to his security company, and it all just stopped. So life carried on as normal, and it went back to normal. I was still putting up or gaining awareness on social media every single day. And then a few weeks ago, it started again with messages, lots and lots of random accounts. I don't believe that it is ULEZ security this time.
No.
I do actually think it's somebody I know.
Yes. Normally it is. Normally it is somebody. I mean, this to me that's stalking. It's beyond harassment. Yeah. That is someone who's got an axe to grind with you. Somebody. Is there anybody in your life that you've rejected in some way, or they have perceived that you've rejected them? Because that's often where it comes from.
It's taken a couple of weeks. See, initially, there was a multiple of fake accounts, and they were going, or they still are, they're still currently doing it, going into around 20 community pages within sort of an 8-mile radius of where I live. And they managed to get my address. So they actually got my address, and they have been getting into all of these groups, and they've been doing it almost every single night for hours at a time. And they're getting into these community groups, and then they're putting up posts asking if anyone knows me. So my name, do you know Claire Dyer? Or I'm looking for Claire Dyer. Or can you get round to Claire Dyer's house now? and giving my address out. They clearly know my car, saying there's a free car going at this address, just smash the windows to take. I have around probably about 230 screenshots at the moment of endless posts, comments, fake accounts, all in all of these community pages.
You see, there is the hate crime, whatever it is, online. There is an organisation you can go to report all this. But I truly, honestly, Claire, I would urge you to go to. I know there's one organisation who I'm very friendly with the CEO, called Action Against Stalking. But you are being stalked. This is beyond harassment, and the police do not. It is a lottery. It's a lottery. They do not understand the difference between harassment and stalking. And stalking is frightening. I've been there. Yeah. I now have a ring bell outside with a video so that I can, It's the third time when you're going around talking to paedophiles and getting them banged up. You don't expect to make friends.
No. we're gonna come back to that. I'm gonna come back to how I am with my Ring doorbell, but we're just gonna take a break to share the greatest show that is on Unprecedented TV. Laughing because I had no idea what show they were going to be putting on, so I feel honoured and privileged to the studio and also to my boss Limpet Opic. So
your boss Limpet, oh bless.
My unofficial boss, we shall call him, but he's the boss. So but I learn. I mean, I know that, as you just said, what I've been doing, what I am doing, the things that I expose and the things that I do out on the street is not to gain me it's going to gain me friends, but it's also going to gain me enemies. And I accepted that. And I've had comments made, well, you put yourself on a pedestal and put yourself out there. So, you made that choice.
Put yourself on a pedestal. I had a long conversation today and another guy who Limbit has very kindly been supporting, and this is people, it's actually migrants around. You need to watch the program, it's horrific, around Hillingdon and the hotels, right? Mm-hmm. And he's been sort of jettisoned into the spotlight because he contacted me. I went, oh, I know a guy who'd love to interview you. And it's these people like you, like me, like people like this guy James Timms. We are upstanders, not bystanders. And when you are an upstander, you have to be resilient. You have to be able to take the knocks and say, do you know what? Screw you. I'm doing this anyway. And that's why you're being harassed, stalked. It's why I was stalked. And you know what? I'm not going to stop. At the time I went to the police, and I mean, one of the people that stalked me was a former police officer, Metropolitan Police. And when you've got the boys in blue involved, if it's somebody that is a boy in blue, they won't protect you. They protect their own. That's a fact. But I'm not. You, like me, believe passionately in what you're doing. I believe passionately in what I'm doing. I don't want to see anyone abused, let alone children. I don't want to see anyone abused, and I would love a world where no one is abused. And when you're that passionate, there's so many assholes out there that, quite frankly, they don't like the you and I, and you have to take that on the chin, and it's horrible. And it's mental health. It really impacts you, but you're not going to stop.
Yeah, so the studio have been putting up a couple of messages, and obviously one saying you deserve all what's happening to you. So basically they're saying I deserve all the harassment.
No, awful. Awful.
If the studio can put up a few more, because I'm not going to shy away from this. So
Absolutely not.
I'm going to put
Absolutely
it out
not, and neither should you. Because
I'm not going to read this out. Can you see this one at the bottom?
I'm sorry, Spirit. My eyesight isn't great, and I actually one of my lenses dropped out today, my glasses, and I don't think I put them back in right.
I'm not. I've been asked to read it out, although I can't actually.
Oh no, hang on. I'm trying to expand. I still can't see it.
You see, I can't even pronounce the word.
I'm trying to expand it. I'm actually concerned about your comment, because people like yourself are usually the ones. Oh, hang on a minute. What's it say? Usually the ones who to worry about. People like yourself who comment have a dark side. Or
oh, we've lost her. I think she's just completely disappeared and dropped out. But if the studio can put up the other messages, because I'm just going to put them out there. I've had, that's my partner, being warned to watch out. I have had them say that they're going to be around my house with, be careful. That's cleverly done, this one. Please be careful doing what you are doing. But it's almost it's a silent threat. Apparently I'm bullying people, but I have no idea who I'm bullying, so I deserve everything I get. I've had them say that they're 15 minutes away from my house, 2 cars, 7 men, and they're going to teach me a lesson. I think the studio has that one as well, and also a picture that came along with it of a man in a balaclava. And it's literally been every single night without fail. And what I don't understand is the mentality of people that they think it's okay to do this. Oh, and you're back. What happened to you?
Oh, we've had issues all day today because there's been an outage where it stops you being able to get on certain apps and certain emails. It's been a nightmare all
so you weren't bored then? I thought you'd left me.
No. It's been all day. It's been a nightmare trying to get on this website, trying to look at that, and we don't know the website. And then it came up that there's been a massive outage for certain websites and apps and goodness knows what else. So it
was okay. I was carrying the story along without you there.
I picked up on the tail end of it, but I mean, I just think it's terrific. What I just don't understand is why the police are ignoring it.
You know what really gets me about it? So it's one thing doing it to me, which is bad enough as it is. I mean, I learned a long time ago that every single knock on the door, every time my door sensor goes off, every time the Ring doorbell goes off, to look out who it's for. And also, could it even be the police? Because I've actually had them knock on my door.
I tell you what, Claire, I, because like you, I'm outspoken. I've been outspoken for ages, and I have never worried about it until this year. I do not trust Keir Starmer. I do not trust the police. I have actually joined the Freedom of Speech Union. And I mean, I can't believe I've done that. But I'm so frightened that...
When it was last year and it was the ULEZ security doing it, I could actually understand it. But now with everything that's been sent to me and been done over the last 2 weeks, I very, very much believe, and this is an opinion and it's not fact, but so what? Sue me for it. I know it's somebody I know. And I also believe it was somebody fighting on the same side as me in ULEZ.
I tell you, it's stalking.
That doesn't actually know me.
This is not harassment. You need to, the one I know is, and I'm very friendly with, is Action Against Stalking. And there are other ones, but this is stalking. And if you've got it all documented, you need to get an organisation behind you that understands stalking, because the police are literally, it's a lottery. They don't understand it.
My MP knows all about it and has again spoken to our inspector and said, what can you do to assure my long-term safety? That's where it's at the moment.
Hang on, has he gone to the chief constable?
It's gone to the inspector at the moment.
It needs to be right to the top. You know, my dad used to say to me, never talk to the oily rag, always talk to the engine driver. And the inspector, sorry, I mean, he's low down the list. Go right to the top. Chief Constable, Police Crime Commissioner, maybe, but they're always out having lunch and rubbing noses with the Chief Constable. So I don't, but it's always worth a try. Also, as I say, definitely go to an anti-stalking as an action against stalking. They are brilliant. I know they're based in Scotland, but they've won awards European wide, and I know the CEO. So you need, this is not harassment. This is stalking. It's menacing. Also, let's just see, hang on a minute, Claire. Let's just see what Jess Phillips is made of, shall we? Because she is, oh, look at him, the ugly bugger. She is the safeguarding minister for violence against women and children. There we go. There it is. And for violence against women and children. Now, it's going to be very interesting. You will be the second lady I've spoken to today who's had, not you, Les, but also an awful lot of issues with stalking. Also, some members of the police are involved. So I said, that's why no one's talking to you. So I said, let's just see what Jess Phillips is actually made of, because she is the safeguarding minister. She is violence against women and children. Let's just see what she does. But I honestly would urge you, stick with your MP. Absolutely go to action against stalking. Document everything you've got that. This is stalking and it's menacing. It impacts people's mental health. I know, I've been there. I know it's just horrendous. And I've had those texts. I've had hate mail. I used to go out the door in the morning and there'd be where I lived, and there would be a note under my door: we are following we're going to kill you. And then I would have voice messages left on my phone. And the police said at the time, they took my phone and they said, we think these are people that are being paid to leave a message for you. And the first time I was aware of this was I had a puppy, and he woke up in the night, woof, woof, woof. And I thought, oh, woof, woof, woof. And that was probably a fox. I got up in the morning and my Mercedes car, I don't have a Mercedes though, I've got no money now, I mean, was melted with acid, literally melted. The paint had dropped off it. There was the acid tins, there were the forensic gloves, there was a note through my door saying, we're going to kill you. And then I thought, why? And like you've put your head above the parapet. And I had gone on a program. It was called Judges in the Dock. And it was Channel 4. And I had done this thing exposing basically crooked judges and paedophiles. And somebody, obviously, and the stupid press put my address out there. And this was it. And then for the next 6 months, I had these constant messages. I absolutely know what you're going through. It's horrific.
Do you trust Keir Starmer to sort any of this out?
I don't trust Keir Starmer with my dog. I don't trust him. I've met him. He is an absolute slimeball. I mean, people used to talk about Tony Blair as Teflon Tony. This guy is never here, Keir. You know, I don't trust him at all. I'll tell you why I don't trust him. Because many years ago now, you probably don't remember it, but I've been in the abuse thing for 23 years. And there was a lady called Frances Andrade. And Frances Andrade, and so I was head of music at a school, deputy head of music, right? And Frances Andrade was encouraged by her peers. She was then married with 3 children, and she'd been abused by her violin teacher at Cheatham's music school, right? And several people said, oh, I was as well. Please come and, give evidence in court. She didn't want to, but she did. And then she stood there behind the witness box, and the barrister kept saying over and over again to her, you are a liar and a fantasist, aren't you, Mrs. Andrade? No, I'm not. You are a liar. And she kept on and on and on. And the next day she took her own life. So our wonderful never here Keir decided that he was going to have a round table group, to which I was invited. And this was going to be the Victims' Rights Bill, because he said this can never happen again. We cannot have barristers talking like this to witnesses. Well, they still do. Anyway, so we started doing this white paper, and we had the first meeting, we had the second meeting, we had the third meeting. And I thought, I don't know, there's something weird. Jeremy Corbyn had popped up and Brexit was on the horizon. And I started saying, well, hang on a minute. If we actually with the Europe, we've actually got some very good safeguarding things that are in place. Is this going to go out the window with Brexit, or can we embrace them? And we talked about that. And I can remember coming home and saying to my kids, do you know, I'm not being funny. I think he's going to drop this and do a runner and hang on to the shirt tails of Corbyn. So we'd had the third meeting. We all rocked up for the fourth meeting in Portcullis House. He wasn't there. He didn't turn up. We never had the courtesy of an email from his PA, nothing. He literally vanished away, evaporated into the ether. And from that moment on, I said, I will never trust that man, because he did exactly what I thought he was going to do. He's after the main chance. He wants to be head of Labour, and he is. And look what a mess he's made of it. I've never known. I am terrified about what's happening to this country, and everything is gone. Everything is broken up. I couldn't even. I knew he was going to be awful because I've worked with him. But I didn't think he'd be this awful. I mean, it's just hideous. You know, what you need to do is come over. I'll tell you what, Claire, go to France and come in a rubber boat. And then, you'll be looked after.
I've always said I don't trust any political party, because
I don't trust any of them.
They're all the same. But
they are all the same. What you don't have now is real politicians. These people are opportunist career politicians. They're not really interested in the country, because they wouldn't, if they were, they wouldn't allow.
They don't do anything to sort out the grooming issues of any form of harassment. And the thing,
rape gangs.
And the thing that gets me really about all of this is, I know in my heart that all I care about is humanity.
Yes,
I care about people. All I want is for people to see what's going on because of what they're trying to do to us, this agenda that they're inflicting on us. That's all I do. I'm out there every single, and I accept that I've put myself in the firing line. I've put my head above the parapet for good. What I can't accept is that the person that is currently doing this, who's trying to put my address out online, he's putting my children at risk. And I say he because it's a him. He is putting my children at risk, not just me, but my children as well, knowing that this is probably all down to just some kind of ego or detest for what I'm doing, when all I'm trying to do is help people. And when you then have the police not having the powers or the will to do anything, this is why people will continue to get away with online harassment and trolling, because they can hide behind a screen knowing that they're safe.
But there is I can't remember what the name of it is now. You can report it to an organisation for this sort of communication.
But the problem is, right, if you think just this particular incident, this is every single day for hours at a time. You get you say about affecting your mental health. I'm not going to allow to go, oh yeah, this is affecting me, because then that's kind of almost a show of weakness. Yes, it's taking up my time trying to stop my address for going out online. If it wasn't for my address, I'd be like, do you know what? You carry on. You're clearly that fixated and obsessed with me for whatever sick, twisted reason. You know, you clearly don't care about children. So who's the nasty person here? Who's the actual bully? Who's the harasser? You know, the person that's hiding behind this.
But of course they're cowards anyway, because they hide their faces. That's what annoys me.
This is obviously ULEZ security, but I believe the person that is trying to get into all of these groups and release my address and send me threatening messages was actually somebody fighting on the same side as me, somebody who claims that they care about what is happening to us, fighting the same cause. That's what makes it even worse. And you want to call me out and harass me for being a nasty person. It's like you're not even looking at yourself and what you are actually doing, because the reality is, and the truth is, you think about the fact mainstream media and social media, they will highlight the fact that children get harassed and have online bullying from their peers at school day in, day out. And you hear this so often, those children end up committing suicide.
Oh, absolutely. What I was saying to Lembit today, in fact, what I said to him was, it's 1 in 10. I was slightly wrong with the stat I gave him today. It's 1 in 10 people who have been abused will attempt. No, hang on. You are 12 times more likely to attempt suicide if you've had any form of abuse, and 1 in 10 succeed.
You have your charts up here as well.
Lembert's put up here that the one person at the top there gets abused. Look, and all the drop down from that is, with every single case of abuse, you've got family, friends, schools, doctors, police, courts, you name it. And at the bottom, you've got, it is 12 times more likely, and 1 in 10 will succeed. And it's absolutely tragic.
And they know this when they do it.
Oh, well, this is the point. These people are bullies. Something happened, and don't get me wrong here, I'm not making excuses for them, but they are abusers. Something happened in the very early years of their life, in the first 3 years of their life. I've had another lady today call me about her dear little boy being bullied at school by a girl 3 years older. And I said, that child, unless she has been stopped and mentored and given therapy, will go into her adult life being an abuser and a bully. And, I was bullied when I was 5 years old. I've never forgotten her name, Hilary Webster. She was an absolute bitch, and I'm sure she is now. But, she would have had issues. These people have got issues that need resolving. But they're vile people. They're vile people. And you really do need to... I was told, the police said to me, when I was stalked, as I say 3 times now, well, you can walk away. I'm not walking away from it. What do you mean I'm not going to walk away? Of course I'm not going to walk away. I am not walking away as another victim of abuse.
I'm not walking away.
I'm not going to have any more of it.
Yeah, it's not going to make me give up. But
absolutely not.
We have run out of time. So final words. Final words.
This is a terrible thing to say. It's been an absolute pleasure, because it's absolutely awful. But
I know. Can you believe I'm smiling?
I know.
Every day and threatened, but I'm smiling.
Honestly, you are resilient. I'm resilient, and I don't take any prisoners. I don't. Anyone. I said to Lembert earlier today, anyone can challenge me. I am passionate about people not being abused. I've had enough of it in my whole life, right? So, anybody can challenge me, fine, challenge me. Anyone can knock me back, fine, but I'll come back at you with my boxing gloves, because I know I'm right. You know you're right. 100%. Very few things do I think I'm right, but I know I'm right about people not being abused. I passionately believe no one should be abused. And, I'm fed up with human rights lawyers that go on about, the human rights of migrants, blah, blah, blah. What about the human rights of people that live in this country? What about the human rights of children? UNICEF, a child's human right is to stay free from harm, and only adults can prevent it. And, it's outrageous what these people are doing to you. I'm getting really angry now. You can see,
I get angry because I just feel that we live in an inverted world. Everything is upside down, and I've said it many times. But thank you so much for coming on, Marilyn. It's been great listening to you. And thank you to everyone else for listening. I'm going to say this wasn't an easy episode to make. It was, and it wasn't. But I still believe it was a necessary one to expose certain things, because I'm not going to hide away anymore, because behind every screen is a real person. And behind every message, whether it's kind or cruel, is a choice, and they make that choice. I've shared my story today, not for sympathy, definitely not for sympathy at all, but to remind anyone out there going through this that you're not alone. I mean, it's happening to so many people, and we hear about it all the time. Online harassment, bullying, threats, they are not just words on a screen. They have real consequences, as you've also heard from Marilyn. Emotional, mental, even legal. It can drive someone to the very edge of their sanity, even to the point of wanting to end their life. And I'm pretty sure the people that do this are very well aware of that. And it forces us to ask some really hard questions. What kind of mentality does it take to deliberately try to destroy someone from behind a screen, but not just them, their family, their children, and anyone else that is affected by it? What drives that absolute level of hatred, obsession, or cruelty, especially towards people sometimes they've never even met? Somewhere along the way, society has become disturbingly comfortable with this behavior. Online abuse, it's brushed off as normal, as it's just the internet, while at the same time people can be arrested for what they post or say, depending on who they are or who takes offense to it. The double standards are clear, the damage is real, and the silence, it costs lives, and it's costing lives. But I honestly do believe we can do better, and we can challenge this culture, and we can start by recognizing the humanity in each other, even when we disagree, even when it's hard. And if you've been a victim of online abuse, please know that you are not alone. And if you've ever even taken part in it yourself, ask yourself why. Ask yourself what it achieves. Words can wound, but they can actually also heal. So please, let's start choosing them more carefully. There's a reason we're having this conversation here on Unprecedented TV, because this is a platform that represents the people, a place that delivers real news, the truth, raw and unfiltered. No spin, no agenda, just reality. And that's why I invited Marilyn Hawes on today to step in today, because this story, like so many others, it deserves to be told honestly. And if you believe in what we're doing, if you believe in giving a voice to those who've been shouted down, cancelled, silenced or ignored, then please support this channel. Like, share it, subscribe. It's on YouTube, and you will find us on X, not just to follow the show, but to stand for something bigger. I'm Claire Dyer, and this has been Dyer Consequences on Unprecedented TV. Let's keep talking, let's keep questioning, and please, let's do better. Thank you.